Hello friends, I'm going to explain the baby egg project that we were presenting to you in our project. The baby egg project can be used in different ways. First of all, it can be used as a professional development for teachers and explain the socioeconomics of it and how the eggs do act as students in different socioeconomic classes and how socioeconomics definitely affects the students in the classroom and how they learn. Also, as an instructional method in the classroom, it can be used two ways. One way, it can be used as just a fun, competitive manner of learning and also show kids how to be resourceful, which has its own merits. But if you and your classmates and your other teachers have been using social and emotional learning in your classroom and you think your students are prepared for this manner of learning, then certainly you could do the socioeconomic aspects of it as well. You know your students, and so you could apply that. And of course you would be mindful of how you set up your groups as well. The goal is to instruct the groups to protect a raw egg with their supplies from the market, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. And after they've had time to wrap their eggs with the supplies from the market, a representative from each socioeconomic group will stand on a chair and drop their wrapped egg and to see who survives, you know, after they have the various supplies from the market that they purchase, okay, with fake money. Okay. Now the activity does, if you are doing it from a socioeconomic aspect, the activity involves dividing participants into high, middle, and lower class income groups. Have students sit with their same economic group, and then you distribute the fake money. Now the higher class, they get 300 fake dollars. Obviously I don't have that much money to show you. The middle group gets 150 fake dollars, and the lower class groups only has 75. Now I'm going to show you the market. Okay, there are 4 puppy pads up for grabs. They are $100 each, kind of pricey puppy pads. There is bubble wrap. There are 3 sheets of that, and they are $75 each. There are 2 padded mailers. Okay. And they are $50 each. And I even used some recycling, some Amazon padded mailers, and there are newspaper sections that are $25 each. Pieces of fabric are $5 each, and string to hold it all together, perhaps for some of the folks who didn't get the better items, they are $5 each. Okay. Now, before the students go to purchase, okay, you let the groups come and figure out their strategy for what they are going to purchase. After each economic group has worked through their purchasing strategies, you give each group an egg, a raw egg that they have to protect. Now, if you are doing this in your classroom with your students, I do suggest that you have some backup eggs, but that could be part of the fun as well, okay? Now, before purchasing begins, you know, make sure, like I said, that they've had time to preview and then have them come over here and pick out what they want, okay? Now, for the high group, of course, just as privilege is sometimes, they get to go first, okay? And with their $300, I made up what they could purchase. They could take a puppy pad, they'll get 2 bubble wraps, okay? And then a padded mailer. All right, so we'll take that away. Now, with the middle class group, with their $150, they would take a puppy pad and a padded mailer. So now the padded mailers are all gone. Okay, now with the low group. Now you see that there still is a bubble wrap left. But if they choose bubble wrap at this point, then what are they going to secure it with? They would have no money to buy string. They only have $75. So what could be, and you know, this is just one solution, they could use 2 newspaper sections, 4 sections of fabric, and then 1 section of string. Okay, so now I am going to wrap these up just like this, and then I'm going to go outside and give them the test. Now we're going to start the actual experiment that your students would do. And just remember that this is supposed to illustrate that the eggs that are nurtured and the most protected have the best chance of survival. And this is supposed to represent the reality of social classes. And this experiment is likely to yield a lot of emotion, and that perhaps that rich parents were better able to provide protection for their kids. Okay, so let's see what happens. But then remember, you've got to wrap this up after it's over and process it. Okay, we will start with first class. Okay, hold it about right here and then just let it drop. Second, we'll do the same thing. Middle class. Okay, and then, all right, I'm gonna drop it over to the side. This represents the lower socioeconomic class. Had a little bit of a thud. Okay, we'll pause right here. Okay, now for the reveal. Okay, we've got our little first class egg, safe and sound. Our middle class egg, safe and sound. And awesomely to show, even our third class egg is safe and sound as well. Perhaps the resourcefulness could be represented here, but there's still a lot of emotions and things that you might have to process. Is if this is an instructional activity, you may have to talk about, kids are going to want to talk about first dibs, and you could even talk more about adequate housing and healthcare and daycare, education, nutrition, etc. And of course, those are also things that you could talk about in a professional development. So I hope that this explains how you could use this in more than one way as professional development or with your kids in your classroom. Thank you.